Today, we're going to dive into the teachings of the Thai forest master Ajahn Chah. And what's so amazing about his wisdom is how profound, yet totally practical it is. He uses these simple stories and powerful metaphors that offer a direct path to understanding our own minds. So let's just jump right in with one of his most challenging ideas.
Okay, right off the bat, that's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, we're taught our whole lives to cling to what's good. But Ajahn Chah, he's immediately pushing us past that simple duality. He's pointing towards a kind of freedom that doesn't depend on being good or bad. And really, this idea sets the stage for everything else we're about to explore.
So, what's the fundamental problem he's trying to solve here? Well, he illustrates it with this brilliant metaphor: a snake with two heads.
Look, we spend our entire lives running away from suffering and chasing after happiness. It's the engine of our modern world, right? From that next promotion to just scrolling for the next dopamine hit. But this constant chase just keeps us agitated, never really at peace. Ajahn Chah is suggesting that maybe we're misunderstanding the nature of both of them.
And this is just a perfect illustration of the trap. Unhappiness, that's the snake's head. The danger is obvious, you know. It's got fangs, we stay away. But happiness, well, that's the tail. It seems safe, so we grab onto it. And what happens? The snake just whips around and bites us anyway. Why? Because it's all part of the same snake. So here's the crucial point. The fear of losing happiness creates its own kind of suffering. When we finally get what we want, this new anxiety just creeps in, this fear that it's all going to disappear. This is the source of so much modern FOMO, right? It shows us that both states, pleasure and pain, they spring from the very same root, clinging, or as he calls it, wanting.
Okay, so if clinging is the problem, how in the world do we stop? Well, Ajahn Chah's next story reveals something pretty surprising. Sometimes, suffering can be completely dissolved just by knowing one new fact. It's all about the power of understanding.
So imagine this scenario. Someone just screams insults at you, and for days you're just consumed with anger. You're replaying it over and over in your head. Then a friend tells you, oh, him? Don't worry about him. He's been mentally unwell for years. He does that to everyone. In that instant, what happens to your anger? Poof, it just vanishes. Now think about what just happened there. The words didn't change. The event in the past didn't change. The only thing that changed was your knowledge. And this reveals that the suffering was never actually in the insult itself. It was in your misunderstanding of the situation. The right knowledge can make suffering disappear on the spot.
This idea of right knowledge leads directly into a practical method. If our suffering comes from fighting with reality, Ajahn Chah offers this surprisingly modern way to just stop.
I mean, think about it. If you go and sit in the middle of a freeway and get angry at the cars for driving there, that's insane, right? The road is for cars. Your anger doesn't stop them. The only sane thing to do is to get off the road. Well, the world, with all its sounds and sights and events, and especially our nonstop digital feeds, that is the freeway.
And getting off the road simply means this: stop interfering. Stop trying to control everything. Let your thoughts come and go without grabbing onto every single one. Let sounds just be sounds without judging them as good or bad. We suffer not because of the cars, but because we insist on sitting in their path, trying to direct traffic.
So, if we're not supposed to be chasing pleasure or running from pain, then where exactly do we go? The goal isn't to find some new, better place to stand. It's about finding freedom in a completely different dimension.
Ajahn Chah uses another powerful image for this. He says indulging in pain is like being shackled to the floor. It's one extreme. But clinging to pleasure is like desperately hanging from the roof. That's the other extreme. See, both of them are fixed positions, places we try to abide in or hold on to for dear life.
But true peace, it's not on the floor and it's not on the roof. It's found in the empty space right there between them. It is the freedom that comes from not needing to stand anywhere at all.
This state is called no abiding. And it's so important to understand this isn't about apathy or some kind of nothingness. It's an active, aware state of not clinging. It's about doing the work, doing the practice, not to get peace, but simply for the sake of letting go. The reward is the letting go itself.
And this all leads to a final, really beautiful metaphor about what mature wisdom actually feels like. It's not some constant intellectual effort. It's something much, much more natural.
So how can you actually tell if this kind of understanding is taking root in your own mind? Well, the untrained mind is just full of doubt. It's constantly checking in. Am I doing this right? Am I feeling peaceful yet? How about now? It's anxious, you know? But the wise mind, It doesn't need to do that. The knowledge just becomes a part of you.
He compares it to having fruit in a basket. Once you've counted the fruit and you know how many pieces are in there, you don't need to dump the whole basket out and count them again every 5 minutes. You just know. You carry the basket and you're confident in what it holds. And that leaves us with a final question to really think about. If we've tasted even a moment of this piece, if we've seen the truth in these teachings for just an instant, we know the fruit is in the basket. So why do we spend so much time anxiously dumping it out just to count it all over again?